3 ways you may be getting gaslighted and not realize it. My name is Jared Mello, and this is an episode of Mello Mentoring. If you find my content valuable, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I come up with more videos. Also, like I said last time, my audiobook version of Radical Self-Respect, Avoid Falling for the Same BS, coming out very, very soon. Looking forward to that, especially for all of those who don't really like to read or don't have as much time to read anymore. This would be great for you. But on to today's video. 3 ways we may be getting gaslighted and not realize it. And for those of you who don't know, being gaslighted is basically when someone denies your reality, and it's a way of kind of making people feel crazy. And it can be extremely frustrating. Usually it's a narcissist that gaslights their victims, right? But it's not always limited to just narcissists. It's not just narcissistic abuse. This will happen in other ways too. And that's what I'm going to talk about now. So one way and area of life people are very often gaslighted are in sales jobs. Let me explain. I've done a lot of door-to-door sales jobs in my day. I've done them for Comcast. I've done them for Humane Society fundraising. And our bosses would always tell us every area is exactly the same, and we should get the same amount of sales in each area, no matter what the area is. And anyone who's done door-to-door sales realizes not all areas are created equally. Every area is a little bit different. So certain areas, people are just not wanting to spend time with the door and listen to you. And so as a door-to-door sales guy, we didn't do as well. But our managers would always say, nope, you got to do the same amount. You got to get the same amount of sales no matter what. All areas are treated equally. And what they would be doing is denying our reality out of quote-unquote positivity. But in my eyes, there's a point where positivity becomes gaslighting, where it's no longer just being positive. It's straight out just denying the other person's reality. And of course, mindset is a thing, right? We can't just want to give up, because one thing's for sure, if we give up, we won't get any sales. But I would prefer it 100 times more if my employer would just say, hey, listen, we know not all areas are created equally. Certain areas are going to be better than others, but do your best. And at least that way it validates the employee's thoughts and feelings. It doesn't make them crazy. It doesn't make them feel like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? Why am I not getting the same amount of sales in this area? It's like it validates, and it's the person listening. And right on the heels of in sales, the second area in which people can be often gaslighted is in network marketing. Now, a lot of network marketing companies, they are big into positive self-talk and positive mindset. And they say things like, if you only knew the power of your thoughts, you would never have a negative thought again. And I used to subscribe to this 100%. But you know what I noticed? I noticed that when I would try to stuff my negative feelings, or my depression, or my anxiety, it would only explode later. And here's the thing about network marketing. Not everyone is going to succeed at network marketing. As you can see, there's often a certain personality type and a kind of person that is likely to succeed in network marketing. Often they have been successful in another area of life, and they have influence over friends and family and the people in their community, the people around them. So a person like that comes into network marketing, they are going to be much more successful probably than the person who comes not really knowing anyone, not being successful in another area. And it's extremely hard for the person that is just coming in green. Now that's not to say it's impossible to succeed. It is possible, but I think it takes the right combination of things. Sometimes it's timing. You get into an area at the right time with the right product or service, and boom, it can take off. Other times, you have the right amount of influence amongst your friends, family, and community. Other times, you do just have the right amount of hard work. And other times, there is some luck involved. And in my experience, there's 2 things that happen. People who become really successful often downplay the amount of luck that went into their success. And then people who are not very successful, they seem to overemphasize the amount of luck that was involved in people who have become successful, how they got there, and they usually complain that, oh, I couldn't do this, they have a negative attitude, and I think both sides are wrong, right? For the person that wasn't as successful, they could probably be doing things more that they just don't realize. But the successful person, often there is a lot of things that were just kind of there is some luck involved. It's not just hard work, right? So in network marketing, it takes a lot of hard work, and it becomes similar to a cult, a lot of these things. They really do. Where if you don't go along with the mainstream narrative of that network marketing company, they say, oh, you're just being negative. Oh, you're being this, you're being that. And I hate that, because that is gaslighting. It's gaslighting someone. It's denying their reality. Reality is, about network marketing companies, not everyone will succeed. Reality is, it takes hard work. And even if you work really hard, you may not succeed. Now, one thing is also for sure, if you give up, you certainly won't succeed. But there does need to be a point where someone may put an end to it and say, okay, I'm going to give it a hard effort for this amount of time, and if I don't get X amount of results by this time, it's time to cut it off. But when someone says, oh, you just don't have the right attitude, you're not being positive enough, you're not being this enough, that is gaslighting. And in one really sad story, someone who has said this to me at a network marketing company, oh, if you only knew the power of your thoughts, you would never have a negative thought again. This person ended up committing suicide. More than likely because they didn't feel comfortable speaking about their mental health issues, talking about their depression, talking about what's going on with their lives. And it's like, that leads me to the third area people are often gaslighted. It's when someone has mental illness. They have anxiety. They have depression. And they're told, just get over it. You're okay. And just push through it. And it's like, they may mean well when they say those things. But if true mental illness is involved, it is so much bigger than that. Right? Now, there is a difference between situational depression and true mental illness. There absolutely is. But when there's true mental illness involved, it's like, it's a mind, body, spirit issue. And I always say, it's half science, half spiritual. We're going to have to get our sleep, diet, and exercise correct. We're going to have our community, our friends and family, have a group of people that we can speak to, have friends that we can talk honestly and openly with. And then we're going to have to make sure our hormones and our neurotransmitters are functioning properly. But all of those things need to be checked. And if one or multiple of those areas are not quite right, someone's not going to be themselves. And to the person who is not mentally ill, telling the person who is depressed, just get over it, it just doesn't help at all. They're just so far off that it's out of control. And for the person who does have the mental illness, I would say, yeah, it's certainly going to be tough if you truly have one. And often it takes a lot of trial and error to get to a routine that works for you. But one thing's for sure, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So it is up to the person with the mental illness to try new things, to try to act and do new things that may help. And I know it's so hard to do that, but for this part of the video, I want to emphasize, when mental illness is involved, don't just tell someone to get over it. Don't just tell someone that they're okay, they're fine, just push through it. And I get it. Even when someone does have mental illness, we do need to tell ourselves those things sometimes. But to deny the person with mental illness's reality, to make them feel like even more of a piece of shit, or to make them feel like they're just being lazy or it's just in their head, it's like that doesn't help at all, right? Mental illness is a complex problem, and that's why I implore people who do have a mood disorder, who do have mental illness, don't talk to people about it unless they understand. Because when you try to talk to people about it who don't understand, you get nowhere. It's like running on a hamster wheel. And we have to sometimes be selective with who we choose to talk to about it. Because if we don't talk to people who are supportive, we're probably going to wind up being even more unhappy after we talk to this person. But we have to have a good group of people. We got to have people we can talk to openly and honestly about how we're really doing. And preferably have them either be professionals that understand mental illness, or other people who also have it that understand because they've been through it. So to recap this video, right, the 3 areas people can be gaslighted, but not really recognize it as being gaslighted, are in sales, network marketing, and with people who have mental illness. All 3 of them, it can be toxic behavior for sure. It's toxic to gaslight people. And I think gaslighting contributes a lot to toxic workplaces. And I don't know about anyone else, but for me personally, I would always rather have someone be completely honest with me and be genuine and authentic than to give me some bullshit, than to give me some positivity that is basically gaslighting. No, keep it real with me. I respect that 100 times more. And that way there's no surprises. And there are clear expectations about what's going to be expected of us, and we know the results. And I know what they think. Oh, we can't tell them the truth, or they're not going to get anything out of this area, or whatever it is the numbers might say to them. But it's like, no, keep it real, be genuine. That's how you keep your people's morale. Gaslighting, which is basically lying, does not help at all. So please let me know what you think about this video. Did you agree with what I have to say? Disagree? Any other examples or areas of life where people may be gaslighted, besides with narcissists, of course, that I missed? Please comment them below. So with that, thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.